maybe, yeah, let's wait, maybe a couple more minutes. Mm.
So how far along is the program? Is it halfway through? Um,
Yeah, so we have, two more, weeks.
I
So,
see.
well, now they are doing some project, and then,
Like hackathon?
yeah, so, and
I
then,
see.
well, we have, classes on Tuesdays. So two more
Mm,
Tuesday lectures, and then after that, then we have a hackathon.
I see.
Mhm.
Nearing an end.
Mhm.
That's exciting.
But
Yeah, I know
definitely,
that today I almost missed it because last week, Thursday, we didn't have class. So maybe some people
Oh,
are getting confused.
mm.
is there like a group chat or some sort of group
So,
communication going on that could let them know that this is happening or no?
so usually, and then we are sending some reminder in emails.
Mm,
But seems like, the high school students, they are not checking the emails regularly.
really? Is that true? I'm actually curious. Like, what mode of communication do you guys use? I mean, I guess if people come in, I can ask um and just resolve all my curiosity there. But yeah, I mean, I guess you guys don't use emails. Do you guys have emails? You should have emails.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't have email? But is that the primary mode of communication or is it like messenger app? What like is it iMessage? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe student, you can answer. I cannot answer for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also not curious. I'm just kidding. I'm just curious about what high school
Yeah.
students are using these days. Um, Hi. I guess more people are coming in.
Okay, so I think, they're gonna join maybe late. So yeah,
Sure.
let's just start. Yeah, so hi class, and then today, and then we have guest lecture, and then Ms. Christine Zhang, and then she is working at USC actually with me in an Annenberg School of Communication and yeah, Journalism, and she's a kind of project lead in a research center. Maybe she can describe herself better. All right, so well, she is doing very interesting in the research in social media. So today's talk and it's gonna be very fun. And then I know, she's a great speaker. So okay, please, yep, Christine, can you start?
Yeah, of course. So I guess I'll share my screen for the slide. But really, I would love for this to be more of like an interactive conversation if possible. I know we're all very tired and the last thing that you want to do is have to introduce yourself to a random person. But I'm really here to be able to provide you with any information that you're curious about, regardless of what I had prepared. So happy to veer off and answer questions that you have, just off the cuff. If anything comes to your mind, feel free to just jump in and ask me. I am completely okay with that. With that said, I will introduce myself briefly. So my name is Kristen Eunjung Jang. My Korean name is Chung Eunjung, but I go by Kristen in a work setting. Um, my background is in strategic messaging, media narratives, and global audience research, especially around social impact. So, like Dr. Kim said, I have been with USC for quite some time. I am originally from South Korea. I did all my education back in Korea until my undergrad. So I went to Korea University for my undergrad. I studied international relations and media comms at back in Korea University. I moved out to Los Angeles in 2015 because I wanted to get my master's in public diplomacy, which is a perfect crossroad between international relations and media comms. So back then, it was just combining my passions for both fields, and USC felt like a perfect place to be. I love the weather in LA. Didn't really think too much about it. And luckily, I got into Annenberg, did my 2 years of master's. And right after I graduated, I luckily got a full-time job as a researcher at USC's Norman Lear Center. So this is a research center affiliated with the USC Annenberg School of Communication. It studies and shapes the impact of entertainment media. Basically, all of our projects have to do with understanding and helping media and storytelling change hearts and minds of people on important social issues. And for the past 8 years, I've been able to build 2 different research portfolios at the Lear Center, one being public diplomacy research, which aligns well with my background, my master's. But it's really focused on evaluation research of global media initiatives that are led by the State Department and other government entities that try to harness the power of American storytellers and American storytelling content to win the hearts and minds of foreign nationals, and how effective those storytelling strategies are. So my job was to produce evaluation research evidence to make sure that the government funds the right program, right people, etc. And since 2022, I've built another research portfolio that really focuses on social media impact measurement, which I will talk at length about in today's talk. So basically, I've been leading our center's use of AI tools to analyze social media conversations, TV and film scripts, audience data, helping storytellers better understand and expand their reach and impact. When I say storytellers, I mean like the TV writers, filmmakers, directors, executive producers, showrunners, folks that are in Hollywood, who produce all the content that we love watching. Like Euphoria, Grey's Anatomy, all of the shows that you've heard of or you've at least like watched once or twice. Maybe not Euphoria. I don't think that's age appropriate for you guys. but the primetime TV shows basically. How to help the storytellers of those great entertainment content portray important social health safety issues in an accurate manner, in a positively impactful manner. So that's really the big goal of our center. And so I will kind of dive into what I've been doing as far as the social media or social listening research portfolio goes. So it's really, if you think about it, there are a lot of conversations going on any social media platform that we're on. It's really easy to click and scroll, but also it's easy to leave comments and express your genuine reactions because it's anonymized and because you interact with the content that you like in engaging with. So this is a platform where there's a wealth of data on how people just express themselves about different topics, different content. So what we do at the Lear Center is sifting through a bulk of social chatter or social media conversations on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, X, Reddit, all of these platforms that are popularly used by the users to leave comments or create content to express their point of view. We scrape the data on those platforms and try to extract helpful insights from those. Now, in a marketing context, as you can imagine, it is really understanding what the customers want. And I'll kind of show you the example of what the social listening research could look like in terms of data science and and engineering, but also qualitative analysis and how it can be applied to marketing, product marketing versus social impact research, which is very different angle and domain, but the methodology are very similar. So I wanted to kind of give you a sense of if you're interested in like corporate role, you want to be a marketer, you want to work in a product marketing team or maybe sales team, then still social listening matters because you want to know what people are talking about your product. And every single product nowadays have social media marketing team. So that's one way in which you can utilize this, as opposed to what I've been doing is really understanding how people resonate with or connect with important social issues when they are portrayed on mainstream TV shows. And I can tell you a little bit more about that in the case study. But I wanted to ask you guys in terms of like, well, I guess like vibe check too, but I want to know what social media platforms that you guys are most familiar with, or what you use most frequently. You can just drop a note in the meeting chat window. I will take a look at it, and that way we can understand what each other's using and also help me just kind of figure it out. I'm just very curious what like, is it TikTok? I assume, but I don't know. So yeah, tell me, you can like unmute yourself and tell me what your main like, okay, first thing in the morning, what's the first social media platform that you check, or maybe you don't check? Mostly Instagram. Okay. Um, or not. I don't know. Are you allowed to like use social media? I don't know. Like, do parents like nowadays? Maybe like you guys are high school students. So I believe you have more like freedom than underage, like middle school students or elementary school students. But yeah, just leave a message in the meeting chat, and I'll try to check them. Feel free to just let me know what you engage with. So like I said, I want to give you a peek into what studying entertainment content means and how we use social media data. And to do that, I think it's better to just show you guys this deck rather than that one. So I'm going to share this. So in 2023, I believe, or 2024, we did this research where we looked at the impact of caregiving storyline on This Is Us. This Is Us is a popular primetime TV show that went on, that was broadcasted on NBC Universal for multiple seasons. And we had selected 4 key episodes that was on This Is Us season 6. Again, let me know if you've ever watched this show or if you've ever heard of this show. It is a family drama. It's the final season basically portrayed a family going through their mother deteriorating because of Alzheimer's disease. So it was a very heartfelt, touching. Oh, okay, Jaden. Oh, great. Yeah, This Is Us is not the most recent show, I should say, because it ended a year and a half ago. But it had a large reach basically. Every episode was watched by, as you can see here, 4.2 million viewers, right? 5 million viewers, about 5 million, right, on average. That's a lot of people that these TV shows are reaching. And so the idea is that in order to showcase or get through the hearts and minds of the audiences when they're watching this TV show, super unguarded. I think we just like relax when we watch TV show or film, right? We're not like trying to learn anything or paying like extra attention to what's happening on a TV drama. And so what this finale season did was it did a beautiful job portraying what a caregiving looks like for a family. You know, what kinds of difficult conversations can a family have? So when it comes to caregiving, who takes responsibility of who, and obviously there are conflicts between the family members. And these 4 episodes just did a really great job showcasing different aspects of what caregiving looks like in our lives. And obviously, and caregiving looks different in different across cultures as well, right? In a Puerto Rican culture or even Asian culture, taking care of your parents could mean different from a European family or Caucasian family grew up in America. Think of what caregiving looks like or the expectations around it, right? So all of those were just really beautifully conveyed. And on top of that, because Rebecca, the main character, this is her, the mother of this family. This is her partner, Miguel. Rebecca's here. Because Rebecca's like deteriorating due to Alzheimer's disease, the TV show did an excellent job of authentically portraying what that means. What does it mean to see your mother lose your memory of yourself? What does it mean for your mom to not be able to walk by herself anymore? And how does the rest of family members adjust? It was a really real portrayal of what all of the families go through. And I'm sure it's a little bit distant for all of you guys because you guys are young and I'm sure your parents are younger and far away from this caregiving situation. But once we all grow old and age, this is something that we will have to encounter one way or another. Even giving care to your little brother, or like when you have a child, for example, that's all caregiving. So basically, we studied the Twitter and Reddit conversations about all of these care-related topics that were portrayed in these 4 episodes. And we also looked at Instagram data because this show had a separate social media impact campaign where all of the key cast members did like an Instagram reel. So they came out and did like a panel discussion and had a really genuine conversation about what it meant to play this character and what it meant to have end of life end of life planning conversation. All of these amazing story-driven conversations that they've had, the characters came out and talked about this, which I can, I guess, show you a little bit if you can see this. I can also share the link afterwards in case you can't see this. So basically what we found was, lo and behold, so we analyzed before and after the episode aired on TV. What was the change, right? On Twitter, for each of the 4 episodes, on average, the tweets about caregiving, care-related tweets, so people talking about Alzheimer's, people talking about end-of-life care plan, people talking about what caregiving means to them, or people just sharing their experiences of how difficult it was to see to have their family go through their beloved one deteriorating. There was 6-fold increase in this kind of conversation after the episode, during the 2 weeks after the episode aired. So it's a clear sign that TV show like this sparked conversations about the important topic that it portrayed, right? And on top of that, on Reddit, we also found that majority of people really liked the portrayal of care on TV, that it was really positive. Positive meaning they were able to resonate with it. They felt it was very real and genuine and authentic. So positive responses discuss the realism of the storyline, like I said, and the cultural significance, meaning because this character Miguel is from Puerto Rico and he's a Latino, so having immigrant parents, to him, caregiving and his responsibility as a caregiver meant something different from someone from another culture, and that was really portrayed well. And a lot of Latina immigrants resonated with it a lot. And so they really loved that part. Some of the negative responses, views, 16% here, they pointed out that the show, because this family is really wealthy family, they are. And so it's like this quote says, this is the top 0.1% of us, not this is us. So they could afford private home care, they could take the time off from their job. So all of these are, pretty much available only for the family who already are privileged. Not like majority of families, you just can't afford that. You can't quit your job and start caring for your mom, even if you wanted to. So that didn't bode well with people, well, rightfully so. And I think that's a really great feedback. So based on this, like we tell storytellers, like, look, this is the room for improvement. You did a really great job authentically portraying what family goes through and what a patient herself goes through when, with Alzheimer's disease. But this family just had no experiences with financial or systemic barriers. And it just, caregiving looked really easy to them. And the fact of the matter is, it is not easy for majority of the families. And there's a need for systemic improvement, right? Like policy improvement, allowing for people to take leaves for caregiving needs. So stuff like that wasn't really discussed. And so that's room for improvement for storytellers, right? And then there was interesting surge in conversations about caregiving topics like elder care, aging, dementia, Alzheimer's, on Instagram as well. And a lot of people, like 82%, 3/4 of 82% said they were able to get a new perspective on their caregiving experiences. So it was almost like a lot of the quotes were like, this is almost cathartic, and that they felt so seen. And after seeing this, they finally kind of they could process what they went through and have like a better perspective now, because now you see it from a step afar what this family is going through, that really strikes a chord with them. And obviously we did, on top of the social media conversation research, social listening research, we also did audience survey research. That's the way we usually do our research, to make sure we triangulate our data. So, getting social listening data and survey data, they complement each other. And after viewing the viewers of the final season of This Is Us, when asked if they had taken any actions related to caregiving after viewing, about 30% said they discussed their care plan wishes with loved ones. 25%, 1 in 4, said they asked a loved one about their care plan. So this is a really powerful thing. The fact that an entertaining primetime TV show can prompt people to take actions, have conversations, reach out to people, and take the initiative to have this kind of care plan in their life is huge. It's prompting people to take actions that can actually change their lives. And guess what? The writers of This Is Us, didn't set out to be this advocate of like, I want to make people change their lives and take actions, but they ended up doing so by portraying the topic in a very authentic way that connected with people. And so why not? If you can do this in an entertaining way that can actually have really powerful positive results in people taking actions, and elevating the topic of caregiving that is not nearly talked about enough, even if we all go through it, um, this is what our center is there for, to inspire storytellers with all the evidence that we find that their storytelling does matter. Stories do matter, and people do get influenced in a very profound way. So that's the kind of research where the social listening piece was very central to understanding how people, whether or not people resonated and talked about the issue that was portrayed, and how. And then there's a recent research that I've just completed that I'm not able to share just yet because we haven't released the report. But I also took a look at the Grey's Anatomy's abortion storyline on TV. So if you're interested, you can actually, I can share this website with you. This is all of the publications and projects are of our center, Media Impact Project, under Norman Lear Center, lives on this. So if you want to check it out, you can definitely check it out. You'll see various different projects here about understanding the audiences, understanding how Asians are being represented on TV, like primetime TV storylines. Yes, Sarah, that's a great question. It does shape future episodes of TV shows. So there's our sister department that I should not leave out on, actually. Hollywood Health and Society. Let me see. Society. There we go. So we're under the same Lear Center organization. This is sort of like a different department, but what they do is they engage with the storytellers themselves. So basically, let's see, they consult on as this says, the biggest shows. I'm sure you've watched at least one of these. Do tell me which ones you watched. I mean, Breaking Bad, Good Doctor, which actually comes from Korean TV show, if you didn't know. This is an adoption of KBS drama, Good Doctor. All these shows, I mean, Grownish, Boston Legal, they all consult with the writers, directors, and executives of these shows. Based on this evidence, we tell them, hey, you gotta, if you're working on a medical show and your episode is about breast cancer, well, you can do it right. You can portray, we can hook you up with the doctors who know how to portray this accurately. And so Hollywood Health and Society serves as like a hub for the storytellers to reach out to, and then they connect them with the right people who can inform them about all of this accurate information on how they should portray caregiving, portray, let's say, immigrants' lives. Like what legal hurdles do they go through? What does deportation even look like? Or what are the visa processes, for example? Like if you want to do an episode where a character goes through that journey as an immigrant, you better do it right. It just accurately reflect what's happening in the real life. And in order to get their buy-in, that's when our data comes into play. we tell them like, we did the research, and this is how your impact will affect the viewers. They actually take actions by modeling conversations that were on TV. You know, your lines that you write can serve as a jump off point for some like people in real life who want to have this difficult conversation. For breast cancer storyline that I was referring to on Grey's Anatomy, there are anecdotal data where one of the viewer reaches out to Grey's Anatomy writers or executives, and they're like, "You saved my life. I watched this episode. This patient had a really similar symptoms as I did, and my doctor's been telling me that I'm okay." But after watching this episode, I mean, it's really similar what I'm going through. So I decided to take mammogram. Mammogram is like checking your breast, like through X-ray. And I found it. I found the problem. And I was able to treat it in time. So it didn't develop into like malicious cancer, right? So that ended up saving her life just by watching this TV show. That's an incredible impact in order for a TV show to save someone's life. So we tell this kind of data to inspire folks, and obviously like I said, we recommend them on what the next theme should look like. So going back to the example of This Is Us, we found that this family was too wealthy and it didn't address any systemic problems, right? So we recommend them, okay, if you're doing some sort of similar storyline next time, make sure this is an area of opportunity. You can portray a middle-class family or an average or low-income class family going through the same issue. And that can connect with the viewers as well. That's what people want. That's what they say on social media, like all of these viewers, right? So that's one way in which we shape the future episodes of TV shows, by inspiring them to actually write storylines in an accurate manner, have them like actually glean accurate information, and tell them a little bit of lead on what stories have not been told that they can actually tell, which people have been longing for. So those are two big ways in which we help shape the future stories of TV shows or films. But I do have to note that neither HHNS or Media Impact Project team, we never ever approach storytellers and tell them what to do. That doesn't work. We respect their creativity, and so we always let them come up with their own stories, pitch whatever that they want, and entertainment value comes first and foremost all the time, always, and we respect that. You know, they care a lot more about engaging viewers with entertaining storylines, and as they should. So we never like pitch specific storyline to them, or we never make them feel like they have to follow something. We never finger wag at them for not doing it correctly. Maybe, you know, if there's a storyline where we think it was kind of falsely portrayed, maybe we're not like a watchdog. We don't chase after them and say like, hey, you portrayed this this policy in a really wrong way. Like we don't do that. We're positioned more as a resource to them. And HHNS, all of the consultations, tip sheets, inquiries, phone line, emails, everything's for free. Nobody pays for this. No storytellers who reach out to them are asked to pay for their time. Obviously, the funding comes from foundations and the philanthropic world who care about portraying these issues correctly. So they're funded through different entities. They're not funded through users. So they don't ask the creatives to pay for anything. So it's really for free. If they wanted to, they're really one call away. They just call them or email them, and then and then HHNS can give them all of the info. I can show you briefly, like, look at this category of topics that the TV shows have covered. If you want to cover something about mental health, let's see, then you have mental health storyline or information about youth mental health that can turn into a storyline, right? These are all for free. So our goal is to make sure that the storytellers are inspired and feel that they are doing their part to have this additional layer of great social impact and use their platform. They don't have to, but if they want to, it's really easy. That's our goal. Like, if you wanted to, it's really, if we're here to help you along every step of the way. And social listening research, going back to our topic, serves as one of those evidence in which, they're curious. So I did this research, I did this storyline. What did people talk about? How did people resonate? And then we show them, like, look, this is what people talked about on Reddit. Like Grey's Anatomy has like a huge Reddit subreddit. So is This Is Us. All of these TV shows that are popular have like subreddit where people come together and like talk, like the fans of the shows. So they care about that, right? So that's where the social listening comes into play. I do want to mention, well, so far, if you have any question, drop it in the meeting chat. I opened it right here so I can take a look at it. But I do want to also show you guys how social listening research can be applied in a marketing sense. So this research project, I actually did it as part of social data analysis and visualization group, where Dr. Kim and I've met and still working on. So we had looked into the phenomenon of meteoric rise of buldak ramen. And I mean, I'm sure we all know what buldak ramen is. I don't need to explain what that is. We all love it. Everybody loves it in the States, Korean or non-Korean. The company Samyang company that produces buldak, I mean, their stock price skyrocketed. They're on a roll. They're amazing. Their revenue has jumped by however many fold. And we were like, this is interesting. How did this happen? I think our members and I were talking about kind of doing some sort of TikTok research. We've just always wanted to do some sort of TikTok platform research. And then we realized, I think we were talking to a couple of high school students actually. And then one day we came across the high school student that we were talking to mentioned this really viral like buldak mukbang challenge, I think. And I mean, the views were just wild, like millions of views. And we were like, wow, this is really huge. And these challenge videos are not from Korean. It's all non-Korean TikTokers doing all of these. And then Cardi B posted her TikTok video at some point, loving her buldak. And we were like, wait, Cardi B is doing this? And obviously it went viral. So we were like, okay, let's look into TikTok and Reddit to really understand how buldak ramen became such a global social media phenomenon. And maybe we can figure out what social media marketing strategies that they have done successfully. And maybe we can kind of provide these strategies for other Korean food companies who are looking to do social media marketing and to be successful like buldak. Our goal at Sodabi is to be able to analyze data for and find the insights that will be helpful for our community, whether it be finance or business people, policymakers, media makers, whoever that may be. We want to make sure that there's a wealth of public data out there, and we want to make sure we provide insights from those publicly available data that'll help better serve our community's causes and our community leaders. So in that sense, we're like, okay, I mean, there are so many Korean food companies, small, medium, or large. Samyang tends to, I mean, Samyang obviously happens to be the largest one, like conglomerate, but there are so many different up and coming ones. So let's look at it. So we conducted this research, which I also wanted to show you. So I just brought out the whole deck. Again, I can share this deck with you after this meeting. It's live. It's already on our Sodabi webpage, publicly available. So we looked at, like I said, the TikTok and Reddit, and for TikTok, we were just really looking at the trends, like the volume trends. When did the volume of mentions of Burdak skyrocketed? When did it start? And like when did it peak? I mean, there are peaks and troughs, but who's driving these, up and down volume of conversations? And for Reddit, we wanted to understand the themes. So, okay, we understand the pattern of social media buzz associated with Burdak, but what are people talking about when it comes to Burdak, right? So that's what we really wanted to see. And as you can see here, this is what we found: reach and engagement trends on TikTok. You see that there's like a clear peaks in April 2022, October 2022, like April 2022. I don't know what went on, but this was a peak. This was the high peak for Burdak. And apologies to Shinramen, but we compared it against Shinramen just to get a context of how far better Samyang or Burdak Ramen is doing. So as you can see, it's beating engagement metric in the whole time on TikTok. And we were like, what happened? So in April 2022, I'm not going to read it all, but in April 2022, there was this viral mukbang video from influencer called Doso, who garnered 52 million views. And so we were like, let's look at these influencers who are getting like double-digit million views. So we went in and as you can see here, this is like a long chart that won't show all of. I think it's cut off here because I made it with Gamma AI app rather than the Keynote. But there's all information about the influencers who's amplifying this conversation, right? And then we looked at the themes of what's the TikTok post that was shared the most. Cooking tutorials, mukbang videos, a lot of kind of like recipe tutorials as well. And some of these were driven by Samyang's social media team, which is really great. That was strategic. So they were rolling out like challenge with like, okay, show us how you eat Burdak. What's the creative way of you eating Burdak? So people, mix stuff up, like the random stuff, but it ends up tasting really good. So they would share that and then it would go viral in that sense. So this is like since you guys are here for data science, I suggest that you really read through the methodology part of all of the decks as well. The way that we identified influencers are based on the overall engagement across multiple metrics. So we call this composite engagement sometimes. So we're not just looking at one metric. We're looking at the number of plays, aka number of views, number of shares, number of likes, number of comments, these all indicate engagement, right? So we've kind of applied weights to different these 4 parameters of engagement, and then normalize them. So it's a weighted score that was normalized, and we ranked them, and that's how we produced this influencer chart. As you can see, Tosor here, who garnered 52 million. We also briefly described who this person is based on their bio on TikTok. So you can see, I mean, information like this is helpful for companies because now we've essentially provided them with a list of people that they should engage with, that they should partner with. These are your social media partnerships. And social media marketing team, half the time, their job is identifying who they should do like marketing promo with. So we've basically kind of given them, these are your people. And for Reddit, we looked at certain subreddits related to ramen. And then we did topic analysis. After pulling the data, the comments that mentioned the keyword burdak from these 5 subreddits, we ran topic analysis using Bird Topic. It's kind of like topic modeling, basically. We wanted to see what kinds of topics would emerge as most prevalent in this data set. So we ended up analyzing 818 Reddit posts. Let's see. I wanted to show you the themes. So this is the key topics that were emerged, what people talked about on Reddit when it associated with burdak, which is their preferences for flavor. They talked a lot about what their favorite flavors are. And this is one of the key success strategy of Samyang as well, because they rolled out so many different kinds of burdak, you know, carbonara burdak, jajang burdak, you know, curry burdak, all kinds. And that's how people started talking about different flavors. They also share where to buy burdak ramen. I don't know if this was strategic and intended, but apparently for a certain period of time, there was shortage on certain burdak products. So people would have to like kind of find out where the newer stock, where they can find the specific flavors. So that's what they've been sharing on Reddit. Viral recipes, like I said. And then conversation on their spice tolerance. How do they, you know, their experiences with various other spicy products. These were the 4 top topics that we found. So, you know, obviously our goal was to provide a winning formula for any food product brand that's looking to use social media to promote their products, right? So this is really the takeaway: a mix of exciting flavors, viral recipe creations, and strategic promotional campaigns, like actively endorsing these key influencers and giving them, you know, the free products to try, engaging them with like mukbang challenge, for example, or different kinds of competition, stuff like that. So yeah, these were all of the recommendations. So you'll see how like social listening could start from a curiosity, basically. Interesting. How did burdak do so well in outside Korea, especially since it's so spicy? And then you realize there's this huge trend going on related to it, and then you kind of want to dig more into the data and understand the landscape. I hope you were able to understand how different social media platforms can provide you with different kinds of insights too. So for this research for TikTok, we mostly looked at the patterns and the volume changes, like the trends in conversations, right? We didn't really dive deeper into the themes that people were talking about on TikTok. Because of the characteristic of the platform, not a lot of people share substantive reactions on TikTok. And I'm sure you guys know, mostly it's like emojis, one sentence, of reaction and comment, as opposed to Reddit, because of the nature of the Reddit being like an online forum for like topic focused niche community. People come and ready to share their opinions at length. So Reddit has been a great source of information if you want to really dig into it and understand what people are talking about, as opposed to the volume of conversations, although you can do both. So yeah, that's kind of the social listening research in different cases in which you can use this. Rest of the other slide is really, I mean, you guys are interested in data science, maybe computer science. Is that right? Is that what you're interested in? Computer science, data science? Yeah. So I believe these tools are all very, very handy, and will you guys will, it'll only serve you well if you can master these. From my experience of working with data scientists and engineers, just wanted to add you to just kind of intro or emphasize that. And I think I also wanted to tell you all that any kind of job or work, whether it be team presentations in college or actual job that you get after graduating, you will be working with various kinds of experts. You will just have to be able to speak to them, even if you don't have that expertise, right? So you are often, if you're an engineer and data scientist, you'll need to be able to speak to a person like me who has a domain expertise in entertainment media impact, right? And understand how we can come up with research questions that are helpful. You should be able to talk to the designers, maybe, who are visualizing data. If you're not doing that yourself, you have to clearly communicate what your expectations are and how you think this data point can come to life, right? So being able to communicate with different kinds of stakeholders are really, really important. So as you're studying data science and computer science, I would highly, it's really important to remember how you can communicate your work in different kinds of language, not like maybe non-technical terms, right? I mean, I guess you're all doing this already, so I'm gonna skip this over. And this is it. This is my last slide. I would love to be connected with you all. Feel free to reach out on, I don't think you guys have LinkedIn, but if you guys have LinkedIn, please reach out. If you don't, you can follow me on Instagram. This is my public account associated with it's a professional account that I have to promote our research. This is my personal email. So if you have any question, feel free to shoot me an email at this email address. And that's it. If you have any question, any reaction, any thoughts, comments, this is your time to ask me. Otherwise, it was really, really great to see you all or be here with you all, since I couldn't see half of you. But feel free to reach out. It never hurts to ask question. No questions, stupid question. It's better than not asking anything. So yeah,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, definitely. And then, if you have any questions, and then now it's time to ask. And then, any kind of questions about
Well, thank you,
media.
Jaden.
Yeah, she is really, have lots of knowledge about, how to, understand, social media, something like that. Hey, don't be shy.
I think I nailed it. I feel like everybody understood, and it's all very clear, crystal clear. Let me try and share, let's see, things that I said I would share. This is Hollywood Health and Society. I think we have, I mean, do you guys have access to Sotabi website? Why is our site down? No.
Oh, Abu website is down?
Yeah. Why is it down? Oh wait, sorry. No, it is up. Let me share this with you. Project. Here's our website. Oh, there we go. So this is the product ramen. Yes, Daniel, I can definitely do that. Or I don't think I have all your emails, so maybe Dr. Kim can just
Mhm.
send this, with my email copied. Feel free to do that. But
Yeah. Well, if you have any, interest in understanding any kind of social kind of issues, through social media, and then these days, this social media analysis is a really, really critical part of, any kind of data science or any kind of, a way to understand the humans, people's behavior, the society, whatever. So I think, this
yeah,
essential, part of data science. And then
yeah.
later, when you want to do some kind of project in your school or science fair, whatever it is, yep, the social media data analysis can be a, really, really important tool. Anybody has any kind of well, mm, kind of question you have when you enjoy your social media? Mm.
Well, I just dropped in the chat, but the kinds of data science and engineers that I work with,
Mhm.
nowadays they kind of describe their field of expertise as computational social science. So
Mm.
they're basically applying their engineering skills to understand social phenomenon, right? These are questions that are related to social science. How do people behave? What do people like? What's the psychology behind it? How do we make sure, how do we connect with people? What are the insights about our customers or target audiences? Um, yeah, so search, just if you're interested in this kind of research, I think look like digging up more about computational social science would be interesting as well.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that my data was being taken to social science. Well, what does that mean, Sarah?
Mm. You're on mute.
You're muted.
Sorry. I didn't realize that like you could track like the trends based on people's data and like use that for computational social science.
Yeah. So I guess yeah, as long as if you keep your account as public, then all of the publicly available data can be scraped. But if you keep your Instagram account, for example, as private, there's no way we can scrape your data. So all of the data analysis here are done based on the accounts that were kept public, like, all of these TikTok, Facebook. I mean, yeah, Facebook's harder, but even for Facebook, if the group, the group page is public, that's how you do it. Otherwise, private accounts cannot be scraped. Yeah, Christina?
So then in that case, wouldn't that mean that there's like a non-representation in your data? How does that like, do you have to put that disclaimer out there before you give your analysis and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. So every time when we say, social, most of the data research is actually all publicly available data. Um, although, unless you work directly with the platform. So if you can work directly with Meta, um, that's how you access all of the data. And the users will be anonymized. So they'll give us the data from private accounts, but they will have already anonymized the users. We still have the comment and the text data. Same way, you can directly work with TikTok. They have almost all platforms have researcher API access. So as long as you are asking for their user data for academic usage as opposed to commercial usage, they theoretically they are providing you with a pipeline, like an API access directly to their platform. So you'll have much more access, more representative data, to your point, Christina. But in the recent 2 to 3 years, all of the social media platforms have become very, very insular, and they have started shutting down this research API access. So it's been incredibly more difficult to get them. Although, you know, I've been working on recently getting researcher API for YouTube platform. And this is a project that I didn't mention, but I do want to mention, because social listening research can be global too, because basically all of the users are global. Anybody can use this platform. So the one project that's currently going on, and that's why I couldn't tell you more about, is we're working with the World Bank to understand the social media conversations that are taking place in Nigeria by Nigerians, Kenya by Kenyans, and India by Indians. So in these 3 countries and their users, the focus is gender-related conversations. So say there's a TV show that portrayed this female character who has this relationship with her partner, who somehow goes through sort of this really, you know, violent or aggressive kind of interactions, or like domestic abuse or stuff like that. Or, you know, just showcasing how women are treated differently from men for education, or for marriage, for example. There are a lot of storylines involving romantic, you know, interest. And in these 3 countries, unfortunately, the reality is there's a lot of gender discrimination. You know, women are expected to get married early. Women are expected to take on domestic roles and not, you know, they're expected to fail, and they're expected not to get education, right? And just raise child, for example. So this is like a very prevalent social norms in these countries. So World Bank is interested in researching popular TV storylines or films that portray this kind of storyline that's very day-to-day and normal for us to watch, and see what people talk about. So Nigerians watched this reality TV show, for example. This reality TV show was like Shark Tank. Do you guys know Shark Tank? It's like a reality TV show, right? Like people come out and pitch their entrepreneurial ideas, and people who win it get the money to launch it, right? So same thing. There was this reality TV show shown across Africa, but made from Nigeria, you know, featuring Nigerian cast, Nigerian people. And there was one season that had this huge competition task amongst the participants. And in the final episode, a Nigerian female contestant won with her idea of you know, entrepreneurship. And so, you know, it was really interesting and amazing outcome. And it kind of really proved a lot of people wrong, that women cannot run business. They can, and they do have great ideas. It's that if they're put in the right environment, they can succeed, you know? So we're now kind of working on gathering data about that show and episode, and understanding what people talked about after watching that episode. Were people shocked and surprised that you know, Nigerian women won the competition as opposed to men? Did people feel inspired? Did especially adolescent girls and young women, like, you know, folks like your friends, let's say in Nigeria, like, were they inspired? Did they feel encouraged to maybe pursue their business degree, right? So stuff like that is something that we're working on. So this social listening research can definitely go beyond English speaking. We're developing large language model to detect low resource languages that are used, you know, the local languages that Nigerians use, Kenyans use, Indians use. So to make sure that we're studying representative group of people, basically, because a lot of the times people in the rural area experience more discrimination than not, right? And so we want to be able to understand the psychology of those people as well. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting field. I think computational social science is something that that a lot of AI researchers and engineers that I currently work with at the World Bank or USC or UPenn, all of them have their niche interests, and understanding how AI tools, technologies, engineering capabilities can contribute to bettering the media content, bettering production of media content. That's what they're interested in. Understanding the biases, gender biases that are maybe baked in large language model. There are a lot of people who do that, who have that data science and engineering skills. So it's, I think, something that's very promising and very necessary. Like for me, it's really, really important that there are a group of engineers who are interested in utilizing technology for the society rather than just for the money, right? So to me, this field is a very precious and I think a very valuable field that we all need. So if you are interested, definitely check it out. If you're someone who's usually interested in like social phenomenon, like cultural phenomenon, this might be your jam.
Okay, so
Any other questions? I mean, feel free to reach out to me if anything occurs to you after. Happy to reply and yeah, connect.
mhm. Okay, no questions? All right. Again, thank you so much, Christine, for this kind of very
Of
interesting
course.
talk. And then, all right. So then,
Thank you for having me.
you close, today's, the lecture, and then, see you in the next, Tuesday.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.